Hello lovely people, this week I am back with a tag video for you all.
Sophie Vlogs.
I was tagged by Charlie over at Charles Heathcote to do the second term around tag, words, which is all about secondhand book buying, which if you've been here for a while and seen a couple of hauls, you might realise that it is something that I very much enjoy doing. So I've been excited to do this. I have the questions on my phone, I'm just going to dive into it. Question number 1 is, do you buy secondhand books? The answer is yes. Most of my book buying is secondhand book buying. Question 2 is, what was your latest purchase? My latest purchase was A Place Called Perfect by Helena Duggan, which I spied, and Miriam at Between Lies and Life really loved this, as I think did Matt at MCS Books, unless I'm misremembering. But she absolutely raved about it. She said it was absolutely amazing, so I saw it and I pounced, and now it is mine. Question number 3, what condition do you find acceptable, i.e. tatty or not tatty, etc.? I'm not too fussy, to be honest with you, if it's a book that is a book that I really want. Like my TBR list on Goodreads is like hundreds of books long, because I use it to file away books that other people have talked about that I find interesting. So usually if it's like one of those books that I really, really want, and maybe especially if it's a slightly more obscure book that is harder for me to find, then I will usually buy books even if they're tatty. I have a book that is mine from my childhood. I don't know if it belonged to a parent when they were younger. The Owl Service by Garner, and it's literally held together with a hairband because all of the pages are just, they can just like come out completely. So like I don't need a book to be pristine condition to buy it. I more care about like the contents of it. That said, if it is falling apart, if it's a book that I'm not necessarily super interested in, then I might skim over it. But if it is one that is harder for me to find, then I would just go for it anyway. Hey. Question 4. After you have read said book, do you keep it for a reread or redonate it? This depends entirely upon how my reading experience was. I give away a lot of books because I have limited shelf space. I don't put books on my bookshelves until I've read them and definitely want to keep them. So I have like a holding point whereby I put all my books that I've recently read in a pile until I can film a wrap-up on them, and then after I film the wrap-up I decide if I want to give it to a charity shop or if I want to keep it and put it on the shelves. Usually if I'm keeping it, it's because either just like I really enjoyed it, I can see myself rereading it, it's to do with a topic that is a topic I like exploring that maybe is... So like I have like a lot of folktale books, for example, and folktale books I might not be like, this is the best thing I've ever read, but because I like collecting folktales, I might sort of keep them, that sort of thing. So I do get rid of a lot of books and give them away, and sometimes I regret it, sometimes time passes and I'm like, actually, I didn't love it at the time, but maybe I'd quite like to reread this now. But then I also use my library quite a lot, so hey. But yeah, I do give most of my books away. Question number 5, do you have a favourite place you like to go when looking for secondhand books? This is going to be very much based around Bristol and Bath, because that's the area in which I live in, but if you are based around Bristol and Bath, in Bristol I recommend the Oxfam bookshop. There's one at the top of Park Street, which is really good because you get all of the books from the students that they give in when they don't need to use them, so you get some really interesting finds. There's also an Oxfam in Clifton Village, and you get all the like fancy Clifton people who give their books away, which is good. Also, Dreadnought Books is... if you're coming down by the library, that sort of way, it's a really nice secondhand bookshop. They have a really cute cat who likes to like roll around in the sunshine in the window, and she's a real cutie. And they always have some really interesting picks. I've got some good like poetry and non-fiction from them in the past, which is great. A whole other thing is sometimes me and my boyfriend spend just like a day and we just do Gloucester Road, because there are loads of really good charity shops on Gloucester Road, but specifically they have the Amnesty bookshop, which is really great. And then if you are going to Bath, the Guildhall Market does secondhand books. They're really great. They will also buy back secondhand books off of you, especially if they're ones that you have bought from them. They will always rebuy them, so that's quite a good way of, if you've got secondhand books, generating a little bit of money if you want to. Also the Dorothy House is quite good in Bath. That one's quite a good little bookshoppy, charity shoppy thing. And then finally, the Book Barn, which is in the Greater Hallertrow area, which is a barn full of books, and all the books are £1, and they're pretty great, and they do kilo sales that I have mentioned a couple of times. So those are my hot West Country tips. I would love to hear yours if you are someone who lives in this greater vicinity. If you have any like sweet little recommendations, that'd be cracking. Question 6, hardback or paperback, do you have a preference? preferably paperback because I do most of my reading commuting, and it's just much easier to commute with like paperback books. If I have hardback books or particularly beautiful books, that sort of saves them for reading at home. But yeah, I don't mind. I love a good hardback that is beautiful, etc. But, you know, preferably paperback. Question 7. Have you found any real gems? Having just said I prefer paperback books, all of these little gems are hardbacks, but that's why. So I have 3 different Folio Society books which I found in second-hand shops. This lovely one is the Exeter Riddle book, which is just a really lovely edition, and I really like Old English. I did a module on it at university, so when I saw that I was like, yes! This is a 2-book collection of Robert Graves' The Greek Myths, and they have these gorgeous covers on them, which are absolutely lovely. And then in a very similar vein, I have this 3-book collection of British Myths and Legends, which is another Folio Society one, and this one has a gorgeous Lady in the Lake coming out of it, which is absolutely fab. And then just 3 other books. The Last Pre-Raphaelite, Edward Burne-Jones, and The Victorian Imagination by Fiona MacCarthy. This is a chonker of a book, and I've been looking at it longingly in art gallery bookshops for quite a few years by now. And I found it in a second. I've always meant to buy it, and I've always just like bided my time, and then I found it in a charity shop for like a couple of quid, and I was like, hello. Similarly, Alison, Weir, Anna of Kleves, which is this gorgeous hardback edition which has this lovely, you know, end papers going on. I was going to a talk by Alison Weir, and I was going to buy the book at the talk, and then I saw it for £1.50 in the charity shop, and I felt a bit bad, but I was like, £1.50, what are you going to do? And then finally, this is a more recent one, is Skin by Ilke Tampke, specifically just because I wanted to read this book for ages, and I really wanted this particular edition of the book, and again, I was going to buy it at full price, and it has these gorgeous end papers, and then I saw it in a charity shop, and I was just like, I would be a fool to turn it down. Question number 8, optional. Find a book from your shelves that you can donate to a good cause or your local charity/goodwill shops. Well, I donate books so often. I have one, but it's currently being used as to hold my camera up because my little what's it called has started being really annoying and falling over all the time. So there is a Lindsay Davis Flavia Alba mystery book that is currently propping this up, which is going to be given to a charity shop. Just hopped off because I just realised I am actually popping to a charity shop today, so I will be donating How I Live Now by Meg Rosoff, which is coming to a book chat wrap-up near you at some point soon. Ian Flemming on Her Majesty's Secret Service. My boyfriend read that one, doesn't really want to keep it. Similarly, New Perspectives on the French Revolution. This is another one that was my boyfriend's, but he's not interested in keeping. And then everything else here is like terrible DVDs. So those are 3 books which I will be donating to a charity shop this very day. And then question number 9 is go ahead and tag some peeps. I'm not sure who I am friends with who does second-hand bookshops. I guess quite a lot of you probably do. Essentially, if you're watching this and you like second-hand bookshops, please consider yourself tagged. I do actually have to leave in a minute to go take these things to a charity shop and meet my boyfriend, so I can't actually think of people right now. But consider yourself tagged if you'd like to do it. Love hearing people talk about second-hand books and all the little lovely things they have found. That's it from me. I hope you're having a really nice day, and I will see you next time for something different.